questions imaginable. Is it possible that Napoleon could possibly be living among us? I have been asking myself this question my whole life, at least since my 20s, because I really wasn't into Napoleon before my 20s. But is he here? Could he be here? Why can't there be reincarnation? I never really saw why there couldn't be. So, and I've always had kind of mystical moments. So I wouldn't rule anything out. Such amazing things are happening. And in a way, I have to remember how unusual all of this is. But I'm having a telepathic experience with Elvis Costello, who I call Cohen, King of America, Napoleon Dynamite. He took charge of me and he convinced me that he's my twin flame Napoleon, and every single thing is corroborating that. And nothing is contradicting it. It's amazing. And it's such an incredible roller coaster for me because I don't deal with my feelings, as we all know. So I just work really hard and just wait until it's over. I can't stand the situation I'm in. And I cannot stand the rulership we're under. And I can't stand that I'm trapped forever and that I can never make any progress because someone has stolen everything. And that's, so I'm just so incredibly angry about that, that I'm being held back by this one banker. And we're all being held back by this one banker. And I just think it's so wrong that one person can commit all the crimes and everyone else will just stand by and let him because of this construct called money. And can't we talk to each other? Can't we work things out? Can't we find solutions amongst each other? Does everything have to go through this one banker who I've been showing for years is doing every single thing within his unlimited budget to destroy my life? And I already felt my life was destroyed before I started this because I live under his rulership. I didn't quite understand the prison that I was in when I started this project in 2014, but I did know that I was in a prison. I did know I was being enslaved somehow, and I did everything I possibly could to get out of one trap after another until I decided to embark on the hero's journey as an art project. And I did not think that I would live very long. That was my expectation because that's what I think of the banker who runs this world. I think he just kills anybody who gives him any trouble. And I was giving him some trouble, and he didn't kill me yet. He hasn't killed me yet. But he plans on it, definitely. He plans on killing most of us. So the whole world is just standing by and waiting to see how he's going to use his money to try to kill us. And his favorite way to use his money to kill us is by to tell the puppets in the media to foment wars. That's how he kills us. And he makes tons of money every time he gets one of those wars going. It is a fantastic thing for him. He makes so much money and people die. And then he can just come right in with his secret society and corporate friends, and they can just take everything. And then it becomes even more difficult for humanity to stand up for itself. So we are in a cycle. We are at the end of the cycle. It's over now. They can't get any more evil. It's them or us. So it's up to you which it's going to be. Anyway, so I'm in this telepathic situation. I'm facing evil in its purest form. It's astonishing. I'm like looking at it right in the face, and it has every single thing to do with money. But there is this silver lining that the incredible constraint and restriction and slavery and imprisonment and permanent quarantine that I'm under, all of this incredible Saturn death cult kind of stuff, all Saturn restriction, that he is putting on us. He put so much oppression on me and Cohen that somehow Cohen figured out how to like get hold of me telepathically. So he found a way to overcome all of these restrictions, because there's no question in my mind that he is in some kind of awful deal, and I would love to see him out of it. And a lot of people are in awful deals right now, and I would love to see everyone get out of their awful deals. Guess how easy it would be to get out of all of your awful deals and to start over. Deal with the banker. That's how you can get out of all of your awful deals. Wouldn't you love to get free of all of your awful deals? Because I don't want to hear about what you did. I don't want to hear really what anybody did anymore. I'm sick of it. I want to start over. And that one banker's in the way. And if all the snakes around him want to step in his place, we'll go for him next. That's how it works. Or you can all stay in your awful deals and watch your grandchildren get tortured at school. It's up to you. This is your choice. You can deal with this one banker and find out what happens. What happens? Do the secret societies just replace him right away? Or do they think about it? Or do they go to their private islands? See, we'll never know if we don't deal with this one banker. Anyway, so I'm so proud of Cohen for making me understand the situation we're in from a completely new perspective. I love hearing his perspective, because my perspective, I express myself constantly. I'm not really hiding a whole lot right now, obviously. So to hear everything from his perspective is incredible. And I just want to find out more about what he knows. I don't want to hear about anything horrible from the past, though. Oh my goodness. This is horrible. This blackmail world. Anyway, don't tell me too much. So anyway, he told me about this formation in my astrological natal chart. I think that's what I think I heard. And I was shown something incredible about the situation we're in and the hero's journey, and how my natal chart is a map of my hero's journey in a really obvious way. And he's been like nudging me big time to do more astrology. And I love any input. I just love any input. It's so wonderful to get it. And that's why I went on and on and on about Mars and Neptune in Pisces yesterday. He wanted me to really make people understand what Mars in Pisces is. It's like a paladin, and it's a very spiritual warrior, and it's a very sensitive kind of warrior. I think he identifies with that to some degree. And I have that kind of energy in my ascendant. Very sensitive, because Pisces is very sensitive. So he did encourage me to talk a lot about that. And I hope I got the point across. And then today he was telling me to talk about my yod. And I didn't feel like I'm at the level to discuss a yod. I'm just a student myself, and I'm trying to convey accurate information. As long as it's accurate and there's a consensus that this is true. I don't have a lot of background and experience, and I never went to secret mysteries college or anything. So I'm just picking this up as I go along, and as I test it myself. And I encourage everyone to test it for yourself so you'll believe in it. Because I believe in it only because I understand what's going to happen, and then I see it happen. So it's so obviously real. And my chart really shows how incredibly real it is. It's I do have Mars on my ascendant. I am very fiery, but it's this like tortured, kind of inverted, trapped, isolated Mars. It's so powerful, but it's so tortured. I really am so tortured. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. Anyway, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't do these things if I weren't. So, and here you're going to see some more of the torture that I endure just from having this kind of a chart. And I think it's such a good example of, like, you kind of know what I'm like, and now you can compare it with my chart, and you can see what motivates me and why I feel I have to do such extreme things in the situation that I'm in. Other people just watch TV and wait to go to the movies or something. That's I can't do that. And I'm trying to show that all the discrimination that I endure from that one banker is it's in my chart. So it's my destiny to be tortured by this banker, and for me to play this role. So the yacht is about my destiny, and I've been trying to figure this yacht out for decades, because it's not obvious. What's the story of the yacht? What is a yacht? Okay, it's called a finger of God, and not everybody has a yacht in their natal chart. And you can, online get your natal chart pretty easily if you have your birth time. But my yacht, I most certainly have one. It's right in the middle, and it's everything in the chart is saying it's about this one thing, and all you see are just red lines of affliction around it. It's like burning on fire while it drowns. It's horrible. And that's the emotional landscape that I actually do deal with. So, okay, it's a pointy triangle, and I put it on my blog under the astrology report. If you want to look at the chart, I know these things are so hard to impart, but I'm going to do my best. Bear with me. Look at the chart on the astrology report today on my blog. You will see it. I drew out everything. I did misspell quincunx. Feel kind of bad about it, but it's too late now. And take a good look at it. So it's a pointy triangle, and I have a favorable aspect between two planets, and I have a very wonky off connection with the third planet. Okay, what does that mean? So I'm really good between Jupiter and Neptune. They're best friends. They love each other. They see everything the same way. They want to be good and caring. And Jupiter is in Aquarius, so it's like open-minded and technological and wants what's best for everybody, and very honest too. So super honest. And then Neptune is in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, so it's good. It's knowledge. It's astrology. It's luck. It's being like open-minded. It's all, everything here is just good, benevolent, peaceful, perfect. They're best friends. That's at the top of my yacht. Okay, so it's this triangle. And then they're having a showdown with Saturn. Okay, what's Saturn doing? Saturn is like the warden, or the stern teacher that you hated, but you're so glad you took that class, because now I had a teacher like that, my typing teacher. And he used to yell at us, and he would he enjoyed being mean to us, but he said, "But I'm going to teach you typing." And I knew he was a nice person. One of those awful people that are secretly nice. And I'm talking about Mr. Cheviola. Oh my goodness, Mr. Cheviola. Ayatollah Cheviola. It's funny, Ayatollah. That's what we called him. He was so funny. Anyway, that's Saturn, Mr. Cheviola. I can't believe this. See, I can remember things too. It's terrible. Anyway, so that's Saturn. So Saturn can be Mr. Cheviola, but he was terrible. Or he can be like that prison that you can't get out of no matter what you do. You're always stuck in that one banker's jail. Oh my goodness, I'm always stuck in this guy's jail. I can't live like this. No, it can't be a prison and it belongs to this one person and everybody just lets it belong to him. Because I don't just get mad at the guy. Do you understand? I get mad at everybody else for allowing it. See, that's, in the words of Cohen, she's mourning everyone. This is why I'm mourning everyone. He's like, there are a few people doing what they're supposed to do. We should all be doing the right thing. Come on. It's one guy. It really is one guy. Do you understand? It is one guy. They try to make you think of, woo, you'll never know. It's one guy. Yeah. He runs that cult. Woo, can never be known. It can be known. It is known. It's one guy. Anyway, so my yard is staring down Saturn, this one evil guy who is running media, and Saturn is in the third house for me. Okay, so it's the showdown between Jupiter and Neptune, best friends, and they're facing down this evil banker. Okay, because that's a structure. That's a Saturnine kind of material. A bank can be very Saturn, or someone keeping me in perpetual quarantine even though I'm totally healthy because he paid all those people to tell that lie. Oh, but they can't prove it at all. Oh, but they've got all that money. And if you don't go along with the lie, your life is shut down. Oh, that's mafia. No, I will not live on mafia planet. See, this is the yard. This is the yard alive. Okay? Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter is benevolence and a global learning. Okay, we got that. And Neptune is all this feeling and spirit in Sagittarius, which is Jupiter too. So benevolent. That's us. And we're staring down as one banker in the third house, a place of communication, in Cancer. Cancer is our motherland, our past, our history, our where we come from, nostalgia. Okay? See, he's running the media. This one banker in my country, that's the Cancer. It's happening in my yard, and it's playing out right now. And I luckily in my yard have an opposite to that Saturn, that one totally evil banker who runs the media in my country and is trying to keep me from being able to do my history work. That's Cancer again. Media, third house again. You see, this one banker won't let me freely communicate about my work, which is historical. It's right there. So check it out. It's happening. We're at the showdown. This is the purpose of my life. This is my destiny. This is what I'm here for. I'm only still here because of this showdown. And it's Jupiter and Neptune against this one banker, or the Saturn death cult, or the secret societies, or whoever is enslaving and killing us. That's what's represented in my yard. And the entire focus of my entire chart is this placement of Saturn. So I'm here to fight this slavery, this world slavery. And I have everything to fight it because I have Jupiter, which is global and international, in Aquarius. That's the people. So I have that. It's very interesting how it's right there in the chart. It shows you astrology is real. And we're teaching people. We're teaching the world. Neptune in Sagittarius. We're sharing about spirit on a global level, in teaching. It's all there. So what we're doing is attacking effectively this one banker who owns the media in my country. And I'll see it again. Saturn in the third house in Cancer. That's that one banker. Or the cult he runs, or the corporations. It doesn't matter. It's the energy that you can see that it's happening. And I have an outlet in my, this yard is a boomerang. It's just ridiculous. But That Saturn that I'm telling you about is opposed by Venus. So that's a 180-degree angle in the opposite sign to Cancer, which is Capricorn. And the idea there is that what's going to help me get out of this showdown is Venus. But it's not just Venus there. It's also, there's an alignment with the North Node, which is an indication of where I'm headed, where I'm not that comfortable. And that's in the 9th house. Again, a space of Jupiter in Capricorn. Capricorn again. Restrictions, structures, but it also could be a good government because it's the 9th house, which is Jupiter, and structures. It doesn't have to be bad structures. It could be, in this case, Jupiter type structures, good structures. So it's my destiny to move towards good structures, to use art, Venus to do that, and Juno, the asteroid, is there, and that's a partnership energy. And there's also Ceres right there. So there's like this super stellium alignment with even Ceres too. So that's nurturing. So I use art to nurture, and my future is in creating more just structures, and there's a partnership involved. So that's my way out. That's what's going to save me from this showdown I'm having with this one banker. It's only one banker. It's one person. You only have to deal with one person. Okay, he's done. I see the game he plays. Oh, you can't find me here. I'm in a group. Oh, I'm in another group. You know, he hides in groups. He's like, oh, I'm in the middle of the group. You can't find me. He is such a good hider. He's so good at hiding. But we can see him now. So it's just one person. See, that's what's going to get me out of this. You, you, because Jupiter's in Aquarius. That's the public. And then I have this wonderful alignment between Venus, Ceres, my North Node, and Juno. And as I said yesterday, I have this incredible trine that goes right there to my Mars on my ascendant. And I explained that whole thing yesterday, how I have this like super outsized, over the top, tortured Mars and Aries on my ascendant. It's like everybody sees that I'm on fire, but maybe not in a good way. Who knows? But something's going on for sure. I mean, I've always been that way. Like, oh, what's going on? What's she doing? I've always been like that. So that's helping me in that spot. That's going to get me out of this. Okay, fine. I explained it. I hope did my best. But I'm trying to show you that my story is corroborated in astrology, and it's showing me what to do, and it's showing me what I have and what I don't have. And it's showing me that I have every single thing in the world to blow this guy away. That's what I'm showing you. Okay? What are your cards? And I know they're all astrologers, so they know exactly what I'm talking about. I got this for days. For days. And then what else? So I've got that partnership energy aligned with Venus, okay? So then we do the Da Vinci Code overlay of a Cohen's natal chart. What do we find? Okay, just to show you some more cards. So good. And he showed this to me. He's really telepathic with me. I would never, ever, ever have thought of this in a million years. Anyway, he's got Mars right there. So his Mars is directly in Capricorn, okay, on my Venus. Okay, think about that. And then trine that crazy Mars that I have on my ascendant. So he's got the freaking, all the power in the world if he just overlays. So true. Anyway, so I guess he wants everybody to know how good that looks. I think so. So that's our blockbuster. And the big news, after I explain all that, I can't believe how long that took. Today is the day of the Mars-Neptune alignment in Pisces. So we've got all this paladin energy. Let's see, I wrote all over, all over the chart of the day. We have everything. We have the passion. We can build new structures, global spiritual transformation, structural revolution, focus on media. Don't let them lie anymore. Do not let them lie anymore. It's all coming from this one banker, okay? They get their orders from one place. Is that not clear? I don't even listen to them. I hear all their little bait stories. Oh, oh, oh. I don't listen to them. They have no credibility, okay? You guys can do all the little cute little shows you want. And yeah, I do know you guys really hurt people. You should stop hurting people. Seriously, these are terrorists, okay? Terrorists run the media. No, not Lake. Terrorists run the media. They are terrorists. This is out of control. This needs to end. Absolutely. And 99.999999999% of the world agree with me. If they're thinking and if they care about their future and if they don't want to see their children tortured in school, this is horrible. This went too far. When they started, I was like, oh, I hope this is the one that finally catches them, because you just watch them roll one thing after the other. It's like people think it's real. It's not real. This one banker is a wizard. Oh my goodness. Out of control. Out of control. Anyway, so let's get back to Napoleon, because that's what this is really about. This is really about Napoleon, and it's him. Cohen is him. I every day I see it constantly. It's the same person. So fascinating, so complicated, so mysterious. You can never really understand him. He's such a genius, such an interesting person. Kind of bad, kind of good, who knows? Anyway, so it's him all day. It's amazing. Anyway, so the situation in the love letters that I've been reading, which if you listen to them as Cohen songs, you're like, oh, then it's so obvious. I don't hear anybody saying I'm not making my case. I've made it. This is just the whipped cream on top. Exactly. So Napoleon has married someone he barely knows. He was kind of pushed into it because one of the directors of France made him an offer he couldn't refuse, which was the army of Italy. So Napoleon didn't look too carefully under the hood. And she was full of debts. And she was a loose woman. She just was. That's just who she was. Maybe she wouldn't have been that way, but she ended up that way, basically. So Napoleon does not know who he's marrying, and he is madly in love with her. And I'm trying to say that these sound like all of Cohen's songs, because Cohen is the same as Napoleon in that he's just looking for his twin flame. He wants his twin flame, and you have to put it somewhere. Anyway, so I can't believe I said that. Anyway, let me continue. This is Napoleon's melting down about Josephine because he is directing his twin flame adoration in the wrong spot. Okay, let's go. Josephine, you were going to leave Paris on the 5th. Again, you were going to leave on the 11th. You had not left on the 12th. My soul was all expectant of joy. It is filled with sorrow. The mails keep arriving without bringing anything from you. When you do write, it's only a few words without any evidence of deep feeling. Your love for me was only a light caprice. You feel that it would have been ridiculous had your heart been deeply engaged. I think I can see that you've chosen elsewhere, that you have fixed on the man who shall supplant me. I wish you happiness if such inconstancy is capable of happiness. I don't use the word perfidy. You've never loved me. I had hurried forward my military operations. I counted on your being at Milan on the 13th, and you are still at Paris. I retire into my own soul. stifle feelings unworthy of me, and if glory does not suffice to happiness, at any rate, it offers death and immortality. As for you, my only remaining hope is that the recollection of me will not be odious to you. My misfortune is not to have understood your true nature, yours to have judged me by the men by whom you are commonly surrounded. My heart has never entertained commonplace feelings. It had steeled itself against love. You came and inspired a limitless passion, an intoxication which degrades. The thought of you had taken precedence of all else in my soul. The universe, besides, was nothing. Your slightest caprice was, to me, a sacred mandate. To be able to see you was my supreme happiness. Beautiful you are, gracious, as sweet a celestial soul expresses itself in heavenly tints through your face. I adored everything about you. Had you been younger, more ingenuous, I had loved you less. Everything delighted me, even to recall your faults. Yes, even that distressing scene a fortnight before our marriage. For me, virtue was what you did, honor what pleased you. Glory had no attraction for me, except insofar as it appealed to you and flattered your amour propre. Your portrait was always in my heart. Whenever I thought of something else, it would intervene and I would cover it with kisses. You haven't glanced at my portrait for 6 months past. I know. Nothing has escaped me. To be alone in my love. That is not the role for me. Josephine, you could have made the happiness of a man less out of the common run, less bizarre. You have become my bane. That is plain. I felt it as if my soul subjected itself, as yours gradually asserted absolute empire, enslaving all my senses. Cruel! How could you have allowed me to imagine in you feelings you never entertained? But reproaches are unworthy of me. I have never believed in happiness. Death flutters about me every day. Is life worth all the fuss and clutter we make about it? Adieu, Josephine. Remain at Paris. Do not write me. Respect my retirement. 1,000 daggers stab my heart. Do not plunge them in deeper. Adieu, my happiness, my life, all that had any real existence for me on this earth. What can you say? What can you say? So familiar. I cannot laugh at Napoleon's pain ever, but wow. Poor Napoleon. Sounds like every single song ever. It's so proven. I don't know how to prove it anymore. I have to believe it now. I'm forced. I lost the page. All right. So this is going to be the stuff I'm going to hate reading about all of his escapades. But I will read it dutifully because suffering's what I do. So let's continue. There was an attractive girl behind the bar. She would flirt with me over a glass of tonic water with a few drops of Angostura bitters. That's the concoction that boxers drink when they're in training. I'd stay just long enough to stay out of trouble, returning to the microphone while my heart was beating fast. I'd been taught not to give in to temptation, but the lesson hadn't always taken. A missionary priest from Connecticut served at the parish of my junior school. Father Corbett was a handsome man with wavy hair like a Kennedy brother. He had been dispatched to save the little heathen children in Middlesex after the Second World War had caused a shortage of Catholic priests to minister to the flock heading out to the suburbs. Everyone liked Father Corbett. The sisters doted on his every word, as did the parents who would gather around him on the church steps after Mass. The children loved him because he was kind, but not least of all because his wealthy mother made a gift of modern playground equipment and elaborately illustrated reference books from America at a time when our own school books were dog-eared and worn. What pennies we didn't spend on rice paper flying saucers filled with sherbet we dutifully dropped into little blue envelopes bearing similarly hued portraits of abject-looking African children. We were told the money was going to baptize them, and we were encouraged to name the children in our own penciled handwriting. By 1964, there were a lot more kids called John, Paul, and George, and probably even a few Ringos. If our money was meager, then perhaps it was enough to buy them sherbet fountain, or some penny juice. We'd memorize their catechism, recited the rosary daily before lunch, and at the age of 7 made our first Holy Communion, dressed in white. This meant making your first confession. I looked down at the table of possible sins and the commandments and got all the way to number 7 and realized I had nothing to confess. I thought it would look a little suspicious if I hadn't done anything, so I confessed to adultery and threw in coveting my neighbor's ox just to be on the safe side. On the other side of the confessional grill, I could make out the fuzzy outline and familiar voice of Father DiTucci. Another more somber American, he gently set me straight on the possible sins of a child, and then gave me a penance of 3 Our Fathers and 5 Hail Marys for telling lies. That's funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a really nice evening.